Hey guys, I'm Kyle with Lone Peak. This video is two parts. The first part is a production update. The second part is a little bit of a show and tell, showing you some components that we're using in the final build and also announcing some new accessories. All right, let's jump right into it. We have been very busy the past few months. I'm happy to say that we have design lock on the camper and all the accessories. The supply chain is dialed. We have a lease starting in a week on a facility out in East Wenatchee. We have machinery coming. So we have a big 5x10 CNC router. That'll be delivered in about a week, which will be fun to get up and running and start cutting material. We use that to route out all of the aluminum composite panels and the acrylic. Then we also have some big, has an automatic end stop miter saw machine that is used to cut the extrudes to the proper length. So lots of things are happening. Our final production samples will be ready probably end of April, early May. And so at that point, we'll be able to show you not just the prototype, but what the final camper design will actually look like. So one thing to note is that I am running about 3 to 4 weeks behind schedule. Getting design lock on this thing, all the details with how all the accessories and the camper go together took longer than expected to finalize. So instead of shipping in early June, it probably looks like end of June, early July, we will start production and start scheduling deliveries then. Next part of the video is a little bit of a show and tell. I'm going to show you some of the components that we've upgraded from the prototype from our testing and also talk about some new accessories. All right, let's talk about the tent. I have an updated sample here. The color is OD green on this. The final production version is going to be a dark gray. A lot of you guys reached out to me and requested gray, and we're going to switch to it from the tan. I feel like it's going to go with a lot of different color of trucks better than the tan. So that's one announcement to make. Another feature I want to show you on this is the condensation vent that we added. So if you recall in a video we posted saying that the zippers were actually too high on the doors because it's so large on the inside, we lowered the height of the door and we added the vent. The vent works by opening this up, Velcroing this little stay here. You can do this from the inside of the tent, and it creates an overhang for a lot of airflow to minimize condensation. The next component that we have upgraded are the latches on the camper. If you guys saw this thing in person and you jiggled this handle, it had a lot of play in it before the spring on the back actually engaged. It really annoyed me. So we took up all that play. So now there is no play before the spring engages. We also changed how this mounts to the camper. The ones on here are riveted, which hopefully they never break, but if they do, we have a lifetime warranty. So the goal here is that if something breaks on the camper, we can ship you a part, make it really easy to remove the old part, install the new one. And so we added some threaded studs on here that will have a nut on the back, so it's really easily replaceable. One of the things that was kind of annoying while using the camper on the road is that it was hard to open up the side access doors from the inside. And so we added this plunger up here. So there's gonna be, imagine a knob up here that's fixed to this post. And all you have to do to get the door open from the inside is pull this down. It pulls these in, which release the latch mechanisms on the sides of the door, which makes it really easy. Then we're also gonna have a bracket that goes on here that's kind of like a handle. So when this is actually opened up, you can grab the handle and you can close the door down, making it easy to open and close when you're inside the camper. One of the most important goals in this project was to weather seal it from the elements. And it's actually really hard to do with all the different truck beds that we're supporting. And so I have some samples here that we have from our manufacturer. We tried to find stock parts that we could order just off the shelf to be able to fit our requirement, and we couldn't. So we decided to make custom molds for all of the seals on the camper, which will accommodate everything from a Gen 2 Tacoma. So if you think about the bulkhead rail that goes in between the bed rails, that actually sticks up a little bit, whereas on a Ford Ranger 5th Gen, that drops down 1.25 inches. We have to be able to fill that gap. So we're making our own molds to accommodate that. This is the actual weather stripping that will be for the bulb seal on the tailgate itself. One thing that we're changing from the prototype is this will be able to go up and down about 3/8 of an inch in either direction. So if your tailgate sticks up a little bit or is down compared to your actual bed rails, we can accommodate that. All right, in a prior video, we talked about juice box a little bit. I don't have a final render or sample of that yet. But one thing that we are adding is dual USB ports. So we will have a USB-C power delivery port here. Delivers up to 30 watts of power, which is, I mean, you can't quite charge a laptop with that, but you can charge a lot of things. And then we also have a high current USB-A port here for your normal electronics. This will actually be built into JuiceBox, all flush looking, look pretty fly. Before we get to some other accessories, we've been thinking about how we want to run all the cables inside of the camper. There's a lot of different channels that JuiceBox can support. We're trying to make this a cohesive ecosystem, and one of the important parts of that is to keep it organized. So we created a little snap piece here for cables. So it can either mount using our ModTrack channel system, which is everywhere inside of the camper, using 2 M8 bolts, or we're actually gonna have a VHB option where you can stick this onto the AC aluminum composite panels. So really anywhere inside of the camper, we can have 2 wires for each of these and route them to the correct place while keeping them organized. I don't know how many of you guys follow us on social media, but a couple weeks ago, I posted a picture of a side light on our camper asking, hey, would this be useful? I don't know how many times I've been out in the woods where I need light off to the side. I have to go searching for a headlamp. If I'm taking chains on or off, or if I'm just at camp and I want camp to be illuminated. So this is a really cool light that we have sourced. And what it does is it angles at 35 degrees. And it's a flood beam pattern, but it's also super low profile. This means that you can have this on the side of your truck and not worry about branches taking it off. There's a lot of these lights that stick out that have adjustable angle. It's all cool and all until it gets ripped off by a tree branch going by. So this won't stick out any further than the grab handles on the truck, and it provides a beautiful beam. This is a new accessory we're announcing, kind of a side ditch light, if you will. It'll come with lights on either side with cabling routed to where JuiceBox is located. So it should make it really easy to adapt this to your whole system. Now, for any accessories that we announce, please know if you have an order in already, we'll be reaching out to you a month before your order is ready to be built, and you can add on any accessories and change your order in any way at that time. All right, along with that light, we also have another light. This is a rear slash camp light. There'll be 2 of these really up here, up above the acrylic windows. We'll probably have a different shape for the window to make room for these in the back. Again, all of the cabling for these lights, we'll be using these clips to locate them and route them over to the JuiceBox location. This guy also sits flush. It's a beautiful beam pattern. It's actually a combo beam, so you get a big floodlight along with some spot. So if you're backing up or if you're just sitting around at camp, you can illuminate everything. All right, so I've been trying to put together some pretty cool swag for trade shows and for ambassadors. And one of those pieces of swag is gonna be an air down tool. So if you need to get more traction, you'll be able to have that inside of your truck. If you don't already have one, that'll be available. But if you air down, you need to be able to air back up. So what I have here is a beefy air compressor. And the question is, where do you put one of these air compressors? It's kind of a pain. Inside of the gear vaults, we are gonna be putting mounting holes to where you can mount this air compressor. I currently have a 200 amp hour deep cycle battery in the bed of my truck. I'm just gonna wire this directly up to that, have it inside of my gear vault, have a really long cable. I actually don't know how long this is. Long enough to reach both sides of my truck so that all of my things are organized when I need to air down, get more traction, air back up when I get on the highway. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful to paint a picture of where we're at in the production process, supply chain. In short, we have everything ordered. We have a shop. Things are gonna come together very quickly. But it's kind of a waiting game until we get our next production samples in, and then we get all of our final parts in and we can start production. So stay tuned, stay with us. Let me know if you have any questions at all. Reach out to us at team@lonepeakoverland.com. Thanks for watching.